Devon Digital here, and welcome to the Tech Channel Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about small creators. Are they worth it? All right, so the thing is, the question that we ask ourselves sometimes when we're out here purchasing something is this product worth it? So, one way that we do find out if it's worth it is by going to YouTube and checking out creators. And hopefully, our biggest creators did a review or a uh, you know experience video or anything of that product that we're out here trying to purchase. So a lot of our purchasing decisions may be swayed by them, not me personally, but by you or somebody else or not you. But we go up there and we look and we check out 1,000 different reviews that we possibly can to see if the product is for us. And if we feel like there's more positive than negative, then we go out and buy the product based off what everybody else is saying. In my line of buying products, I learned that the best way to know if a product actually works for you is actually buying it. Now, I did hear in like some other countries that return policies is a lot worse than the ones that are here in the US, which is ours is mainly great. We have somewhere between 14 days all the way up to 30, all the way up to 90 days, some months to return stuff. So we have a lot more forgiveness here when it comes to products. A lot of places don't, or other countries don't. So the thing is to me is that with the big creators that we have out here, they always reviewing a product consistently. There is, phones, tablets, computers, headphones, just everything. They're always consistently using the product for about 2 weeks duration or a week or so. And they throw up their review and then they move on to the next product. To me, that's not good. That's if I'm looking for a product and I really want to know how well it works, the durability, the longevity of it, and everything like that, I can't rely on a big creator for that. They are so big, and at some point, and I'm assuming this now, at some point, it's just about the money and everything else that's going on, which I do not knock that hustle. That's their hustle. That's fine. There's nothing really wrong with that at all. Who doesn't want to make money, right? So that's where I believe that the smaller creators come in at, because me, myself being a small creator, I have to walk up into Best Buy or Target or go on whatever online store, and I have to purchase it with my money. And at that point, I'm not using it for 2 weeks and then getting rid of it. I'm using it. It's the product that I bought to use. Good example, my Pixel 6 here. This came out, October, and I'm still using it to this day. Now, there may be some big creators out there right now currently not using this device because they're reviewing another device that came out, whether it's a Chinese device or US device or whatever other country device where it came from. They're out there testing that and using that. At some point, their SIM may go back into their main phone, which could be possibly be a Pixel, but even then, they will still take that SIM out, put it into another phone. So it's not a consistent use case like smaller channels. Smaller channels would take a device and build their whole channel around it, which means that they took that device and they used it, and they used it, and they used it, and they used it, and they used it. So I would trust a smaller channel more than I would trust a bigger channel, because the production level on the bigger channels are really, really good. And a lot of people hold truth to what they say. If they say battery is bad on the phone, a lot of people get in their head that the battery is bad on everybody's phone. And I'm not even talking about just phones. It could be laptops. It could be laptop performance. It could be a lot of different things that these big creators, their voice is so big. So what they say holds a lot of weight to the community and to the purchasers and to the consumers. Not a lot of us, because a lot of us can think for ourselves, but a lot of people can't think for themselves. So whatever the big creator says, it holds water. I mean, it holds it. So with that being said, it's like no matter what we say as a small creator, because this person said it, it doesn't matter. Our experience could be totally the opposite of what the big creator said, and nobody cares because we're small. We don't have a big voice. We don't have a big following. We don't have the numbers. We don't have this. We don't have the production quality. We don't have that. So what we say don't matter. But the reality, what we say probably means a lot more than what they say, because they moved on from that product 2 weeks after launch. We're still using it 8 months down the line. Matter of fact, I normally would use that product until the next product come out. So I can do a 2-month review, 4-month review, 6-month, 10-month, and then 1 year. And I could tell you about the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads, everything of that product as I've been using it consistently, day to day, month after month, hour after hour, second after second, minute after minute, all of that. But the bigger creators are already using some phone or device that they got from a sponsor, or they got an early unit, and they're out there already shooting and using and working on it, while us small creators are still, stuck on the same phone or laptop or device that we had when we first got it. One, because we're working, we probably have a job, we probably have a business and a job, or we probably have a business. But the matter of the fact is that we're paying for the devices with our hard-earned money. So therefore, we're going to use the device versus bigger channels, in which the goal is to get that big. But I feel like when we do get that big, how can we still give you the best review ever of a product? Especially if we get to a point where we're getting multiple units from different companies, Samsung sending us stuff, and Google sending us stuff, and Xiaomi sending us stuff, and HTC sending stuff. Just how can we continue to give you a realistic review if we have to review so many products? It will be hard, but I feel like it can be done. But it's about getting that video out to fit the algorithm when it comes to YouTube. And that's why these YouTubers have this early access to this stuff, and they get it out as fast as possible. Because if you're the only one out here with the Pixel Watch, just say the Pixel Watch review, you're the only one out there, you throw up a video, naturally everybody who wants to know any information about that watch is going to hit your channel up. And that's how that works. Now, a small channel like me will get the watch on release day, get it in the mail, and then I go out there and have to use it 2 weeks after the fact that there's already, hundreds of videos by the bigger creators already out there. So I'm not even competing with them at this point. They're already moved on from it, while I just received mine in the mail, being a small creator. And that is a challenge for us. But if you are really on the fence to making purchases, one, don't believe anybody on YouTube. Okay? Even myself included. I'm going to tell you the good and the bad, and I'm going to be honest with you, but I prefer you not to worry about my experience. I prefer you to go out there and get it yourself and experience it for yourself. Excuse me. I can give you a guide on, what I've been through with that current device, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, how long I've been using it. But I still feel like the most important thing is for you to buy that product and experience it for yourself, no matter how much this big YouTuber tell you about it, or even this little guy. But if I personally was looking at a product and I wanted to know, so much about it and how long it will last and what's the experience in the long term and everything about it, I would not go to a big channel. The big channels are a one and done 2 weeks review versus a smaller channel giving us a lot more longevity of that device to receive that information that I need to make my purchasing decision. You tell me if that's smart or not. I mean, if a mechanic told you that he'd been working on a car for the first time for 2 weeks, or then there's another mechanic say he's been working on cars, I guess, for a year. I mean, who you gonna go to? If a doctor tells you that he's been a doctor for 2 years, and then another one tell you that he's been a doctor for 25 years, I mean, kind of what doctor? Well, let's say surgeon or something, right? Who you more than likely you want to go to? You know, experience is very important. The experience and the longevity of that experience is important. I can tell you right now about every month, every update on my Pixel 6 that fixed something or broke something. There's probably other creators out here cannot tell you that. They can just tell you that the unit they had 2 weeks in was really, really bad. This is blah, blah, blah. And then they waited and updated it until like a certain patch came out and they brought it back. And then if they revisit it, then they can tell you about a different experience now and what's fixed and what's not fixed. But versus somebody who's using it through all the issues. I had Bluetooth issues on my thing at some point. I had Wi-Fi issues on it. I can explain what that experience was actually like using a device with the issues versus me saying, forget this phone and putting it down, putting my SIM in another phone, which I also had the opportunity to do because I also do have multiple devices, but I love the features in the software on this device. So I fought through the pain. But you tell me, small channels or larger channels? Like, do you make your decisions based off the smaller channels? Or do you make your decisions based off the bigger channels? Or do you make your decisions based off you actually buying the product and using it for yourself? Like, what is your direction of your deciding factor of buying something? Or you're just waiting for that one YouTuber that you love so much to review it to tell you if it's good or not, or if it's a go or not. I bought multiple products based off, I'll tell you this. I bought the M1 Mac Mini based off the reviews of larger channels. I also bought that based off the hype around the M1 chip when it first came out. And I bought it off because, yeah, I mean, those are the main two reasons. I regret my purchase to this day. I'm still using it right now, but I regret my purchase of purchasing it because it doesn't do what I needed to do well, or for what I seen on YouTube. It's like somehow they lied to me. I don't know. And then somehow the consumers and the tech media or tech Twitter somehow just rave about so much power in that M1 chip, and it's like I don't see it. I don't see it for video editing and photo editing. Once I get to a certain amount of layers, it buckles on me. When I get to a certain amount of footage, a 4K, C-Log footage, it can't handle it, and I'm hurting. So I regret my purchase. I had a I forgot what iMac I had, but I had a souped up iMac that I had that replaced it. I completely got rid of my Intel iMac. Gone. It had 32 gigs of RAM in it. I had 1 terabyte SSD. Had it would think it was the i7. It was a lot. I can't remember everything I had in there, and it had a dedicated GPU. I gave up that because the rave about the M1 over Intel and everything. Y'all already noticed it, right? And I regret it. But I am going to get rid of it, and I'm going to get the Studio Pro, and I should be fine. Or I was going to get a newer version of the iMac, but they haven't made an iMac Pro or Ultra. I don't really care about the Ultra or Max. I just kind of want the Pro, and I'd be fine with a Pro. I'm not doing 8K videos or anything extreme to that matter where I got to spend an extra $1,000 for. I just need some basic 30 frames, 4K editing, and I just need Photoshop layers. So nothing extreme. So basically what I'm saying is that I made a purchase based off creators. It was probably the first purchase I ever made based off the creators, and probably the community helped influence that as well, of the hype around it. And I do regret it. So I'm just telling you, as a person, if you're watching this or listening to this podcast, do your research, look at the stuff, look at the videos. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with looking at it, right? And if you feel like, you want to get it, then go get it, right? Use it, try it. Make sure it's what you need. Make sure it's everything that you want and everything that you need in that device. And then if it's not, take it back. Get the money back as soon as you can, and just go with your gut and get what you need, so you won't have to need more, because I need more. Now, I do have a Windows machine, custom Windows machine that I can use for all my editing, but I kind of went over to the Mac OS for all my editing, and it's been pretty fun. I kind of fell in love with Photoshop, Final Cut, and some other things. So I kind of want to have a Mac alongside my PC. And when my Mac fails, I run on my PC. And if my PC fails, I run on my Mac. I like that. I like that dual combination of, having both and not just dealing with one. Because when one can't do one, the other one can. When one can, the other one can. You know how it works. So big creators, what is your take on them? You're going to go by everything that they say, or you're going to go, by your own gut? Or is it the small creators that you should really be looking at, because they're the ones who are buying the devices with their money? Now, granted, there are a lot of big creators who actually make these purchases themselves and review these units, or they just get the unit that is sent to them and they use that and move on. So it's do you trust them? Do you trust the smaller channels, or do you trust yourself? I don't know. It's a tough situation, and it's a tough question to ask yourself when out here trying to purchase anything. Also, when out here, I never bought a 12.9 inch iPad in my entire life. I went out there and got one, and I regret it. But I didn't buy that based off YouTube. I didn't buy that based off anybody telling me to get it. I needed to know for myself, would it be good enough for me? What would I need it for? I know now that 11 inches is where it is. 11 inches is perfect for me as far as the iPad go. And as a matter of fact, I also have the Galaxy Tab S7 and S7 Plus. While I love my S7 Plus for drawing and watching movies, I also love the 11-inch S7 for drawing and watching movies. While I love my iPad 11-inch and 12-inch, 12.9, I can do the same exact thing on both. But the best thing about it is that the 11 inches sizes, I can actually use them as a tablet. Right? The 12.9 inch iPad makes me want to take a keyboard and mouse and use it. The state of iOS 16 right now, 15, sucks when it comes to that. It's I want that screen, but I want it to do more than be a giant sized tablet that's not good, that's not very handheld friendly or tablet friendly. It's more set it down, keyboard, mouse, get to work. Same thing with the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, which is 12.4 inches, it's a little bit slightly smaller. I feel like every time I pick it up, I want to do some work on it, not really use it as a tablet. So my sweet spot is 11 inches. And I had to learn that by getting the bigger models. So now I know. So when I'm out there on the market looking for a tablet, more than likely it's going to be somewhere between 11 inches and 11 inches. I don't even want the 10 inches. So yeah. So smaller channels, I think that you guys should definitely check out smaller channels. And I'm not saying that because my channel is small, but I started to embrace smaller channels myself. I noticed that a lot of the information that I want to receive from the smaller channels, they're giving it to me. It seems like the bigger channels to me are just focused on certain areas and highlighting them and really making it look really good for the video and saying what they're saying. But the smaller channels seem to be a little bit more raw with the information. And I like it because it's I want to know what this can do. Example, I did a whole video on DeX and everything that I found that you can do on DeX and can't do on DeX. Not one single big channel has ever done that. They would just say DeX mode is this, and that's a third, and they highlight some things and then they move on. But I went into like more detail of everything that you can do with Dex and connecting it to a computer, connecting it to a monitor, or using it on your tablet, using your phone. I went through it all in my video, but no bigger channel done that. So the information that you may know about Dex may be very limited due to that. While I gave you a lot more to go off because maybe you had some other answers. Sorry, maybe you had some other questions that they did not answer about Dex. It may be in that video of the smaller channel. And that's where I say smaller channels is the new way for me personally. Don't get me wrong, I still kind of look at the bigger channels, but I like the smaller channels better because I feel like the information is more raw and given to me. You know, like I said, bigger channels will give you battery tests and say this and say that, but who the hell uses their phone like that, or like anybody else in this world? It's hard to depict, you know, this battery, this is a drain test. I just played a YouTube video for this many hours. Okay, so a lot of things go into factor with that: screen size, screen resolution, the brightness, blase, just a lot in who does that, right? Who does that? So if you're on your phone on and off all day long, you need to know if your phone is going to make it through the day for you or your device or whatever you're using. And that's where the true battery life comes in at. The rumor is that the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro has horrible battery, according to some YouTubers. But I went 2 days with my Pixel 6 many a times. One day I forgot to charge it, went through a whole day. I was at 54% when I woke up in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30, and I lasted all the way to like 8:30, 9:30 with like 15 and 12% based off my usage. Okay, now granted, if I wanted to just kill the battery, I could have just put on a YouTube video, watched some movies, run around, do some videos, take some pictures and everything. But I don't do that every day. That's not what I do every day with my phone. I'm working, I got photography, I got a job, and I do photography, and I'm consistently moving. So why would I do that? Like, I don't do that. That doesn't make any sense. So basically, you know, what I'm saying is that, you know, don't be afraid to check out some smaller channels if you're trying to receive that information. Sometimes it's okay. It's so good.